What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 7 of albums that are 40 years old in 2024. Looking back on 1984, the great year in music. It was 40 years ago, so we got some albums, 29 of them as a matter of fact, celebrating their 50th birthdays or 50th anniversaries, however you like to look at it, this year in 2024. Today for pick number 7. This is the second studio album by this British band, released March 12th, 1984. Recorded at the Manor Studios, Sarm East and Eel Pie in London, England. Produced by Nick Tauber for EMI Records. I'm talking about Fugazi from Marillion. Yes, indeed. Great artwork there as well as on all of their albums with Fish. I've got to say that right. Stephen Reed, correct. This is Fesh, otherwise known as Derek Dick on vocals. Stephen Rothery, guitars. Mark Kelly, keyboards. Pete Trewavas on bass. And, of course, the debut album with the band. Ian Mosley on drums. Of course, Marillion, if you don't know, one of the shining stars, the leaders of this kind of second wave of British progressive rock in the early 80s, alongside bands like IQ and Pendragon and Twelfth Night and Solstice, right? Those were kind of, and Palace, of course, right? Those were kind of the ones that most people talk about. Kind of like there was this new wave of British heavy metal thing going on in Britain just a couple of years before. Well, we had this kind of new wave of British progressive rock, which also happened shortly thereafter. And most of these bands kind of took their cue from bands like Genesis and Yes and so on and so forth, ELP, right? And Marillion were no different. They had this big 6 foot, God, what is Fish, like 6'4", something like that, 6'5", 6'6", I don't know, he's a giant of a man. Scottish singer and poet, and his kind of very witty and sometimes angst-ridden lyrics and vocals littered all over these albums, which are just very good, upbeat, and sometimes moody, symphonic, progressive rock songs. You got Assassin opens up the album. Terrific track. One of the great songs from the Fish era, in my opinion. You got the fun Punch and Judy. Punch, punch, punch. Judy. Punch, punch, punch. Judy. You got Jigsaw. Terrific emotional song is Jigsaw. Love it. That chorus kills me every time. And, of course, the great Emerald Lies. Over on side 2, you got She Chameleon, classic. Incubus, another mysterious rockin' song, but really moody. And then, of course, the closing title track, all 8 minutes of. In fact, you've got every song on side 2 of the original LP, or the back end of the CD, is fairly epic, right? She Chameleon, just under 7 minutes long, and then Incubus and Fugazi, both over 8 minutes. Fugazi is great, and I think to me it's a great studio track it is, but when you watch clips of the band playing it live back in the day, that's where you really get the power of Fugazi. You know, Fish, of course, is dressed up in his army fatigues and helmet. He's got the gun, and the whole tale is about the soldiers lost at war or coming back from war, and just, it's just a really deep lyrical song, but also musically it's just very, very emotional and very brooding, and great stuff. This is a terrific album. For me, I oftentimes say that of the 4 albums that the band did with Fish, this is generally comes in at number 4 for me, but it's just so great. It's one of those albums I always want to rank higher, because of course for me, Clutching at Straws is always going to be number 1. My number 2 generally, and number 3 generally battle back and forth between Misplaced Childhood and the first album, Script for a Jester's Tears. Those are both so amazing, but this is so amazing as well. And some people, they kind of are down on the debut because of the drumming on the album and prefer Ian Mosley on the drum kit, but whatever. I still think the songs on the first one are just amazing. So anyway, let's take a look at the chart position, shall we? Canada, number 71. Dutch charts, this made it to number 29. Germany, number 42. Sweden, number 23. UK charts, number 5. And the US Billboard charts didn't even crack the top 200. This made it to number 209. And then when this was reissued, the box set in 2021. This popped back on the Belgian charts at number. Well, in Belgium, you got two charts. You got the Flanders chart and the Wallonia chart. I don't know what the difference is between the two. It peaked at number 71 on Flanders and number 31 on Wallonia. That's the ultra top Wallonia, ultra top Flanders. Again, I don't know what that means. Anybody watching from Belgium, maybe you can clue us in the comments below. German album charts made it to number 4 with the reissue, with the box set. Hungary, number 6. Poland, number 22. In Scotland, Stephen Reed and David Gallagher, no doubt, promoting the hell out of that box set in 2021. Made it to number 9 in Scotland. Swiss charts, number 13. And UK charts, number rock and metal charts, made it to number 4. And as far as certifications, only one. United Kingdom went gold. 100,000 units sold. Pretty good. This was a fairly, I don't want to say a big band, but Marillion in their heyday were a pretty notable band that were selling records, and they were playing lots of concerts and selling out, small to medium-sized halls. They opened for Rush here a couple times, played with Queen, so Marillion were sort of somewhat of a big deal at the time. But, once Fish kind of got it into his head that all the success was no good. After living the rock star lifestyle for a couple of years, he kind of was like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. This is a little too much, getting to be too big. Let me just break out of the band and go solo and take it at my own pace. And, unfortunately, the band never quite achieved those heights. And, Steve Hogarth joined the band, and they've been together a long time with this current configuration and have made some really great albums. But that kind of like that kind of going up the ladder of success that they were seeing during the 80s didn't quite get to that next level, and then they've just kind of settled back to being like one of the kind of the shining lights and maybe the godfathers of the more modern progressive rock scene. They're the veterans. Everybody looks up to them, everybody knows them, but as far as breaking back into the mainstream, that quite hasn't happened. But you know what? I'm sure if you were to talk to the guys in Marillion about it, they'd be like, you know what? Our career's been just fine. We've had our ups and downs, but we're still doing it. We love doing it, and that's the important thing. So anyway, I digress. It's all about Fugazi today. All right, pick number 7 here on this Wednesday. Stay tuned for new album reviews coming up in just a little bit. So enjoy those. Hopefully you find some new things to go out and think about purchasing, or at least listening, right? It's good music. It's always good music. So anyway, let us know your thoughts on Fugazi as well as your pick for today down in the comments below. And we'll see you tomorrow for pick number 8. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as posted. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page, our channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. So thank you in advance for all your support there. And I'll see you tomorrow morning for pick number 8. Till then, I am Pete Pardo. Have a great day, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.